And we're back here on the No Holds Barred podcast, here covering predictions for SummerSlam, a big show. There's going to be a lot going on, and one of the matches that are going on is the first WWE Championship defense on SmackDown Live. So, the participants in the match is the WWE Champion, Dean Ambrose, going one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. I'm going to be honest with this match. It's kind of a tough sell to buy in the fact that Dolph Ziggler is competing for the title, given how he's just been losing as of late, and he's just been drifting in mid-card territory as of late. But I see Dean Ambrose going in the match. But if I was to give this match kind of a win-win, if I was to book this match and if I was on the creative team, I would definitely have Dean go over with the dirty deeds. But at the end of the match, Dean Ambrose picks up Dolph Ziggler to help him up and just says, you did a good job, I respect you now. And he kind of extends the olive branch to shake his hand. But then Dolph Ziggler just gives Dean Ambrose a low blow, kicks him downstairs, and just leaves the ring and turns heel just to show his frustration as to what's going on. And honestly, I feel like that would make Dolph a little bit more relevant going forward, and honestly, it would make Dean a little bit more likable at that. He's been wronged. So Dolph Ziggler definitely needs to be a heel if he wants to continue his career in the WWE, if he wants it to be successful. So that's how I would book it.
I think Bray Wyatt is supposed to be the number one contender right now, but for whatever reason, the WWE wanted to be random, wanted to swerve this, wanted to surprise us, and they put Dolph Ziggler in this match. Now that he's in it, I've been trying to buy into it. It's hard to build a guy and make him seem like a threat when he's been losing and putting over people and just not being close to main event level. Don't get me wrong, the match will be good, but Dean Ambrose will go over, and I think he will go over decisively. But I think it's hurting the SummerSlam card to have this match in the first place. This is SummerSlam. You bring out your big guns to SummerSlam. You bring out your big guns for WrestleMania. You bring out your big guns for Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank. You don't put these regular matches on. I get it. They wanted to surprise us and go with the unpredictable choice, but come on. The build hasn't been that great either. I mean, the best thing that's happened to me has been Dean Ambrose, Dirty Deeds, and Dolph. But, yeah, I have Dean Ambrose holding on to the belt, and hopefully he moves on to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, how I look at it, how SmackDown kind of booked this match, I think they're kind of looking at this competition with Raw as a marathon as opposed to a sprint. I guess they're not necessarily trying to give all their matches early and I guess they're trying to save some of the better matchups for down.
But would that be giving away too much if it was a Bray Wyatt or a AJ Styles or even?
I mean, in a sense, because they would tear it up.
Basically, somebody more threatening than Ziggler. It doesn't have to be bringing out all the best matches.
You have to say, in that six-pack challenge, it did come to you as a surprise that Ziggler won.
It did.
It had the surprise factor.
I think that's the only reason they did it. It was they wanted that wow factor, or maybe this guy can do something, but it ain't working. I think Dean Ambrose goes over. It should go over, unless something catastrophic happens.
And hopefully it does. So, the final match of the night, we have the inaugural match for the WWE Universal Championship. And in this match will be Finn Balor going one-on-one with Seth Rollins. But I apologize, not Finn Balor. It'll be the Demon King going one-on-one with Seth Rollins. Now, you know what, David? I'm going to pass this one over to you, man.
Once again, the build has been pretty lackluster for these two talents. I know they have a lot of talent and they could do a lot better than they have shown, but I don't know. I can't help but feel like they were both on autopilot for this build, and not to mention the fact that as great as those two are, I don't think you can trust them enough to carry a feud on the microphone. They could be decent and good and solid on the microphone. They could bring it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're good enough to carry a feud on the microphone, and I think they've struggled with that. I don't think Seth needs the world title again. Really? I don't think he needs the world title until he gets that babyface turn. which is coming because he's not really a heel right now.
He's floating in this kind of back and forth territory.
It's some weird.
I think he's trying to appeal to himself for the most part.
It's weird. Yeah. It's like the commentator's still talking about him like he's bad and this and that, but there's nothing bad about him other than the fact that he's a coward. There's nothing to boo him. He has a great moveset.
Yep.
He wins fair and square pretty often. Like, why would I want to boo this guy, you know?
Exactly.
So I think they need to get the wheels turning with that eventual face turn for Seth Rollins. I think Finn Balor does win it. They seem to believe in this guy. Not just that, he does have a bright future in this business. To keep the momentum going for him and to keep the momentum going for the Demon. By the way, I didn't like the fact that they debuted it on Raw, but that's a different story for another day. But I think Finn Balor wins, continues his momentum. Somehow, some way, Seth Rollins gets sidetracked from the main event scene after this, I think.
In my opinion, I'm going to give my opinion on the match and my prediction. Call me crazy, whatever. I believe that Seth Rollins is going to win the Universal belt. But there's a reason as to why, because I think Finn Balor, they've done too much too soon with him in his push on the Raw roster right now, okay? He won the Fatal 4-Way match. He beat Roman Reigns on his first night, and just last night, he debuted the Demon King attire and entrance. I felt like they should have saved that for WrestleMania. That's a true money-making gimmick right there. And on my opinion, Cesaro should be in the spot that Finn Balor is in, because I felt like he could benefit from this a lot more, and this would truly make Seth Rollins more of a heel in a sense. And I think in that Fatal 4-Way that Finn was in just to compete to be in this match, it should have been a true exhibition, just to show what he can do inside of the ring, but at the same time for him to not take the pinfall in the match, just to show what he can do, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't want to see Finn Balor beat a Roman Reigns and just be shoved down the fans' throats. And I don't want the fans to turn on him for any reason whatsoever. So, in my opinion, Seth Rollins needs the belt. And I think it's more money to have Finn Balor chase Seth Rollins for that title. And who knows, maybe Seth Rollins down the line could turn face. In my opinion, even though it's a sidetrack, I think Seth Rollins should have been a face when he first came back from the injury. But that's just my opinion. But all in all, I think Seth Rollins should be the first inaugural Universal Champion.
Last question before we wrap it up.
Right ahead,
do you think this is a one-off just for this inaugural Universal title? Do you think it continues? Does the club get involved?
I think it continues. Honestly, from what the club is doing, I don't think they're gonna do it at SummerSlam. I'm pretty sure the pay-per-view after this, maybe the club will get involved, because Finn Balor didn't get the job done the first time, so then they'll definitely help out Finn, you know, going forward. And what was the other question that you had? Was that the only question?
Does this continue?
Absolutely, because this is their first match ever. They've never wrestled here, the Indies, at all. I think there's too much money that would be left on the table for them to not wrestle again and headline another pay-per-view, in my opinion. They're going to tear it up no matter what.
Yeah, I have high expectations for the performance itself.
Absolutely. And if you have high expectations for SummerSlam, if you think the matches are going to be compelling, if you think the build has been awesome, P.N.H.B_podcast. And you remember, we'll hold your attention.